Let me tell you something most men never realize until it's too late. Women don't care about what you do for them. Not really. And I know that sounds harsh, maybe even unfair. You're probably thinking, but I did everything for her. I provided, I protected. I gave my time, my money, my energy. How could she just walk away? But here's the brutal truth. A woman isn't loyal to your actions. She's loyal to how you make her feel. You see, we live in a world where men are trained to believe that effort equals love, that if you just keep showing up, paying the bills, planning the dates, doing everything she asks, she'll stay. But women are emotional beings. That's not cliche, that's biological. They don't remember every act of service, they remember how they felt in your presence. Were they safe, seen, desired, inspired? Or did they feel like they were settling while you were just checking off boxes? A woman will leave a man who gives her the world if she doesn't feel emotionally connected to him. And at the same time, she'll stay loyal to a man who makes her feel alive, grounded, and emotionally fulfilled, even if he doesn't have much to give. Because loyalty for her isn't about what you offer physically, it's about the emotional experience you create. That's why some guys who barely do anything still have women obsessed with them. It's not voodoo and it's not manipulation. It's emotional resonance. When a woman feels deeply connected to you, when she feels like her heart is safe with you, like you understand her energy, like you make her feel like the only woman in the world, you won't have to chase loyalty. It will chase you. So stop trying to win her through deeds. Stop counting the things you've done as evidence that she should love you. Her heart doesn't respond to logic, it responds to emotion. Focus on how you make her feel. Because in the end, that's the only thing she's loyal to. You ever wonder why the more you do for her, the more distant she becomes? Why your effort seems to push her away instead of pulling her closer? It's a painful place to be. Confusing, frustrating, almost humiliating. You're doing all the right things. You're giving, showing up, proving your love in every way you can think of. But instead of appreciation, you get coldness. Instead of loyalty, you get silence. Here's the problem, and I need you to hear this clearly. Doing more doesn't fix emotional disconnection. In fact, when a woman is already emotionally detached, doing more can actually make her feel more repelled. Why? Because your energy is no longer coming from confidence. It's coming from fear, from desperation, from lack. And women feel that instantly, even if you say all the right words. You start giving not because you want to, but because you're afraid she's slipping away. You start trying to please her, overextend yourself, do anything to get a reaction. But what you don't realize is every time you go above and beyond just to win her back, you reinforce the idea that she has the power and you don't. That's not attractive to her. It doesn't make her feel more connected. It makes her feel pressured, even guilty and emotional. And here's the real kicker. Women don't want to be put on a pedestal. When you overgive, over-sacrifice, constantly try to prove yourself, you make her the prize, the queen, the goddess. And while that might sound romantic, it actually disrupts the natural balance of attraction, because she's not looking for a servant, she's looking for a man who sees her, feels her, but doesn't lose himself in the process. You think giving more will save the relationship, but in reality, what saves it is emotional strength, presence, boundaries, calm leadership. When she senses that you're grounded in your worth, that you're not afraid to walk away if your energy isn't being reciprocated, that's when respect is restored. That's when her attraction returns. So no, doing more isn't the solution. Being more secure, more emotionally present, more in tune with your value, that's what truly makes the difference. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a woman tell you, I just don't feel the same anymore? And no matter how much you tried to talk it out, fix things, or be extra nice, nothing worked? That's because you were focused on solving a problem while she was drowning in a feeling. And the truth is, women don't fall in love through logic. They fall in love through emotion. What pulls her in, what keeps her loyal, isn't what you say. It's what she feels when she's around you. And here's what most men miss. The feeling she's craving isn't just love or attention, it's emotional leadership. She wants to feel like she's with a man who can hold space for her emotions without being shaken by them. A man who doesn't get defensive when she's upset, who doesn't try to fix her like a project, who can just be there, grounded, present, steady. That energy is magnetic to her. It makes her feel safe to be vulnerable. It makes her feel feminine. And when a woman feels that kind of safety with you, she opens up in a way that's deep and lasting. It's not about controlling her or dominating the relationship. Emotional leadership is subtle, calm, and rooted in confidence. It means not being reactive when she tests you. It means staying connected to your truth even when she's emotional. It means leading the vibe, not with force, but with quiet authority. Because here's what happens when you lead emotionally. She relaxes. She stops resisting. Her guard drops. That's when she stops looking elsewhere for emotional fulfillment. That's when she starts depending on you for it, not because she has to, but because she wants to. And once a woman feels like you are her emotional center, her loyalty becomes natural. You don't have to earn it daily. You don't have to constantly prove yourself. When she sees that you're not shaken by her storms, but instead you anchor her during them, she will give you a level of trust and devotion that most men never experience. Because in the end, her loyalty doesn't go to the one who gives the most, but to the one who leads her heart without fear. Let me break a myth that's been destroying relationships for decades. Being consistent doesn't mean constantly doing things for her. It doesn't mean sending daily good morning texts, calling 5 times a day, planning fancy dates every weekend, or showering her with attention every hour. That's not the kind of consistency that wins a woman's loyalty. What she's really loyal to is how consistent your energy feels, your vibe, your presence, your emotional rhythm. That's what keeps her attached. Women are highly intuitive. They can sense when your energy shifts. Even slightly. One day you're calm, confident, playful, and grounded, and the next you're anxious, needy, or overthinking. And the moment she starts to feel that instability, she subconsciously starts to question the foundation she's standing on. Because for her to stay emotionally invested, she needs to trust that you don't shift with the wind. You might think you're doing everything right, checking all the boxes, but if your inner world is unstable, she will pick up on it. She might not even be able to explain it, but she'll feel it. She'll feel the cracks in your confidence, the doubts behind your smiles, the fear behind your compliments. And when she senses that inconsistency, she starts pulling away, not because she doesn't love you, but because your emotional vibe no longer feels safe. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine a man who is steady. His energy is solid, his presence grounded, and his reactions don't depend on whether she's in a good or bad mood. He doesn't chase validation, and he doesn't panic when things feel off. That kind of consistency, that emotional gravity, that's what keeps a woman locked in. That's what she can relax into, trust, and build with. It's not about how much effort you put in. It's about what energy your effort carries. You could do 100 things, but if your vibe is needy, it won't land. Or you could do very little, but if your presence is strong, she'll feel secure and drawn to you. That's the difference. So stop thinking consistency means more. It doesn't. It means aligned energy over time. Be the same man when things are easy and when they're tense. Let her feel that she can rely not just on your actions, but on your emotional core. Because in the end, that's the consistency that makes her stay. Let me tell you, the moment everything starts to fall apart with a woman, it's the moment you begin seeking her approval. The second you start worrying more about what she thinks of you than what you think of you, you've already started losing her. Because here's something most men don't want to hear. The man who constantly tries to prove his worth to a woman slowly kills the attraction she once felt for him. You think that if you just say the right things, act the right way, impress her enough, she'll stay. But every time you chase her validation, you lower your value in her eyes. Why? Because women aren't wired to be attracted to men who need them for self-worth. They're drawn to men who know their worth with or without anyone's approval. Men who are the standard, not because they say so, but because they move like it. You become the standard when you no longer measure your value based on her mood, her responses, or her attention. You become the standard when you walk in your purpose, stay grounded in your values, and don't let her hot and cold behavior shake your foundation. That kind of energy is what inspires loyalty. That kind of presence is what draws her back, even when she tries to pull away. When a woman senses that you're centered, that you're not auditioning for her love, she naturally leans in. It's not something she can control, it's instinctive. Because feminine energy is magnetized by masculine certainty. And that certainty comes from a man who doesn't need her to complete him, but who chooses her from a place of fullness. So stop seeking approval. Stop trying to say what you think she wants to hear. Start speaking your truth. Start showing up as the man you know you are, not the man who's afraid of losing her. Because the truth is, the more you fear losing her, the more likely you are to push her away. Be the man who sets the tone, holds the standard, and never begs for loyalty. That's the man she stays loyal to without question. Let me say something that might shock you. You can't earn a woman's loyalty. You can't force it, buy it, or work hard enough to deserve it. And that's exactly where most men go wrong. They think if they do enough, prove themselves enough, love hard enough, then a woman will owe them loyalty. But loyalty doesn't work like that. It isn't earned, it's inspired. A woman gives her loyalty when she feels something real, something powerful, something she can't find anywhere else. It's not the result of a checklist of good behavior. It's not triggered by how many sacrifices you make or how long you've been around. It's triggered by a feeling that moves her on a deeper level, a feeling that tells her, this man gets me, this man grounds me, this man leads with something beyond words. And when that happens, she doesn't have to think about being loyal. She just is, effortlessly. That's why some women stay loyal to men who seem to do less, while others leave men who seem to do everything right. Because loyalty isn't logical. It's emotional, it's spiritual, it's instinctual. You don't inspire it by over-delivering or over-giving. You inspire it by being deeply rooted in who you are, by being emotionally steady, confident in your purpose, and unshakable in your energy. That kind of man doesn't chase loyalty. He doesn't fear losing her. He doesn't operate from insecurity. He simply shows up as his full self, real, bold, calm, and unbothered. And because his presence creates a space that feels rare, she wants to stay. Not out of guilt, not out of pressure, not out of obligation, but because it feels right. When a woman feels emotionally inspired by you, she stops questioning your worth. She stops comparing you to others. She stops testing, doubting, or second-guessing the connection because something inside her already knows. You're different. And once she feels that, no amount of money, status, or attention from anyone else can shake her loyalty. So remember this. Don't aim to earn her loyalty. Focus on becoming the kind of man who naturally inspires it.